this is really cool stuff, but that's not why you have it. As we were talking earlier, you don't just collect this to have it here in your studio. There's actually really important reason that you've collected and assembled these things, and there's an important reason that they're all still functioning. Can you tell us about that?
So I'm mostly involved doing sound preservation and restoration. The way things were recorded back then, was very poorly documented. And most of the equipment has been lost over time. And so the only way to really know how to properly extract that now is to understand exactly how it's recorded. So kind of the curves of the microphone and the recording curves of the equipment, and how to kind of reverse that properly to get it to play back right. So the goal of the equipment here is usually to get it all working, and then to really put some test signals through, as well as have musicians play to fully understand the impact of the equipment on what we hear on the records or the tapes.
And you've been doing that since, you said, mid-90s.
Yeah,
when you really
it's been a while.
got started. For me, it's so cool because what you're doing, this is awesome to geek out about, but in restoring some things, I mean, these are moments in our history, and that's the part that I find most moving to me, is that I always thought that something that was recorded with this stuff just sounded terrible, but in reality, this stuff was really quite capable.
Oh yeah.
And you can hear that when you watch American Epic. I was like, is this like some sort of like Pro Tools session on the side, or I was confused. But then, yeah, I mean, the signal's there. You just have to understand the effect that the equipment, the recording medium, the aging of those things had on that signal, and basically invert that and bring it back to life.
The real sound quality hit is often the shellac, so the final pressing of the material. So their master metal parts and master wax, they can sound fantastic, and it's often the extra noise from the pressings that can make things really sound poor back then. But even in this section of equipment, it was often like little tweaks that changed over the years, So this is the same condenser microphone technology we use today, but they realize, well, we need to move the diaphragm closer so there's no resonance in the cavity, and these little small changes that really helped over the years. And then even in the rack, there's pieces of this rack like the line amplifier that are essentially contemporary. I mean, they have this amplifier has a response from 30 hertz to 30 kilohertz. There were other amplifiers like the mic input amplifier, where they were really trying to push the gain a bit too much, and so it does kind of roll a little bit on the sides. But a lot of what they were doing sounded great.
I can't even myself fathom, but the part that I do fathom, I can't express it enough, how important the transition from this to this actually was. Culturally, it defined music that we listen to still today. And
essentially it's the beginning of like early like blues recordings and pop recordings. They're kind of like the crooner voice, close to the microphone, soft singing, and like subtle guitar, acoustic guitar. I mean, all that's just not really possible in the acoustic method.
And it existed back when this was the solution to record, but it just wasn't replayed. It wasn't played back. And
you can only hear it live.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was then a very regional genre. Whereas once we got it on a recording, that genre and those sounds were distributed throughout. I mean, I'm getting chills talking about it. It's really, really cool.